And hello, Tokyo Fail Club community. It is exciting to be here. And my name is G, and today I'm going to be sharing about waiting is harder than failing. It's a story about a risk that I took back in 2019, and I had to find my identity again. And finally, I was able to move forward once more time. So, quick background on me. I'm half Japanese, half Korean, and I moved to the state when I was 10. And I studied as an industrial designer at Art Center College of Design. And I had an amazing opportunity to do an internship here and there. And the choice has come up. So on the paper, everything looked lined up. I was ready for a full-time job. On the other hand, I was like, oof, I wanted to pursue this dream of startup. So, of course, I wouldn't be here if I didn't take that risk. So I took the startup route. And that startup route was like, back in my 20s, I was like, if nothing works out, I'll just come back and apply to jobs again. Oof, I was so wrong. Never planned that way. I was just so wrong. And I chose Japan for three main reasons. One being I'm half Japanese. Second being that my co-founder, who was my high school best friend, grew up in Japan. So I was like, cool, I have a co-founder, I'm half Japanese, and lastly, the idea fit perfectly to Japan market. So I was like, all right, I'm cool. I packed up 2 luggage bags, myself, with one big idea. And in 2019, I flew to Japan. And that idea was HiDozo. HiDozo was a way for people who love cooking at home to share the food that needed a meal at co-work office space. And we wanted to focus on the problem for the homestay moms because they have 3 main jobs. Homestay moms are really, really busy. They have 1, actually doing the house chores, 2, taking care of kids. That's a big, big job. And lastly, they were even doing part-time job. And we thought, if they're making the meals for 4 people already for the household, why couldn't they make the meal for 10? And for the 6 of them, can they sell as bento service? And with those bento services, they don't have to take on the extra part-time job, still make the income that they needed. So, on the other hand, I think everyone could relate here. It's the office workers who need the meals. Every 11 o'clock, what do we say to the coworkers? Guys, what should we eat today? What should we eat? And every day that question has come up again and again. I was like, man, there's demand for the moms and there's demand for the office workers. So we were like, cool, this idea seems amazing. So let's get to it. So I realized that I wanted to have this storyboard that I wanted to vision for HiDozo. And here's the story. The family starts a meal in the early morning. Dad goes to work, and mom stays home and starts cooking. She's not cooking for the restaurants, she's actually cooking that she already knows how to cook. And by the time the lunchtime comes up, the order goes out. That was ordered from the office workers. And they will receive warm homemade meal. And it was a beautiful story. I was like, this is it. And before we make the app, we need to prove the concept of this business, right? So our quote-unquote MVP, if you could say, is that we wanted to sell this bentos to the strangers, if they're really gonna buy it or not. So first, we got, that's my co-founder. That's the banner that we purchased and that I designed. And I even designed the chopsticks. And on the chopstick, it has my branding, and here you can see the QR code. And that QR code took to their website and have a waiting list. So that could be waited for the app. And lastly, we hired a local moms that we knew personally and decided to sell bentos, and it was selling bentos. And 2019 ended strong, very strong. We were like, oh man, this is gonna be it. And we were talking to even food truck companies. We were like, hey, can we collaborate? And we were gonna do the food truck, and then hire more moms, and then try to do these things. And we were like, oh my goodness, 2020 is gonna be killer. We're gonna make this happen. 2020, guys. Tell me about 2020. So we were like, oh man, 2020, the number is great, the Tokyo Olympics gonna come. Oh, what if we sell it to the Olympic, from the Olympic to food trucks? And we were just so excited and happy. Yet, the reality happened, the pause. Oh man, this was hard to swallow even looking at it right now. It was during COVID time. The world has literally stopped. Literally. And we were being responsible. We don't want to spread more COVIDs. We don't want to sell bentos that was created from local moms and then selling, and then spread out more, right? So we were being responsible. We just decided to wait. We were like, hey, let's hold off. And my co-founder decided to help out his family business because they were also struggling during COVID time. And I decided to take on a full-time job in Japan at an e-commerce company as a UX UI designer. And that waiting, 2020 to 2022, that 2 years, what it felt like was it just passed by, the time just passed. I was working at home, I had desk, I opened my laptop, I ate at the same desk, and I closed the laptop repeatedly. So the time was like super moving fast. I don't even know where, even today, I don't even know where it went. And if I look back, the time passed so quickly, but my life wasn't. My life stayed the same for the past 2-3 years. And I realized something, that HiDozo wasn't gonna work out. HiDozo was that, it was beautiful, beautiful startup idea that just faded away. It didn't even fade, it just faded away during COVID. And even after 2-3 years, people were still shying away from food. Like, everyone was still wearing masks. So who's gonna buy strangers' food? So we had to put a stop on it. And for the longest time, I told myself, hey, I failed because of COVID. I literally failed because of COVID. And it made me feel okay, because it's not my fault, right? But it justified the waiting time until it did not. I was like, I just noticed this, and I was like, oh shoot, it's not because I waited, it's not because I failed because of COVID. I failed because I waited. And I didn't wait for one thing, I waited for multiple things. I waited for my co-founder, I waited for the perfect timing, and if HiDozo was gonna work out, what is the next idea? So I just kept waiting, and having that perfect plan, perfect idea, perfect vision for the next idea. And realizing that it's not, I just decided to just not make any commitment. And not making commitment is the worst thing that I could have done with my life, because it wasn't going anywhere and I was just waiting again. So that not making commitment, it has a causes, it has a cost on it. So those costs are this. I realized that at this point, my co-founder told me, hey, I'm gonna be fully focused on family business because it's working out well after 2-3 years. And he made his decision, but I didn't make mine. Again, I'm waiting. For what? I don't know. I just waited. And over time, I did not just lose co-founder, I did not just lose my startup idea of HiDozo, I actually lost multiple things. And more importantly, what I lost more than any of the co-founder of HiDozo was actually, I lost my momentum. I lost my momentum. I lost my rhythm of doing things. And I stopped making decisions for myself. I totally forgot how to even do that. So waiting slowly became comfortable. And do you guys remember what I said earlier in the presentation? I said, hey, if nothing works out, I'm going to move back to the States and apply for jobs again. Yet this was 2023. I'm really good at picking up perfect timing, guys. 2023 was mass layoffs. Because COVID time, they hired a bunch of people, and during mass layoffs, I moved back and started applying for jobs. And at that time, my confidence dropped, my identity cracked, and I kept asking myself, am I still valuable? Because after rejection, and I asked myself again, I was like, do I even want to be a designer anymore? It's a sad reality. And after, you guys could relate, some of you, after hundreds of rejection, getting ghosted from the companies, I was like, you know what, that's it. Like, if no one wants me, middle finger, right? If no one wants me, like, I was like, you know what, at least I have to rely on myself. And I stopped waiting. I just fully relied on myself and took actions. And those actions were helping other startup ideas or early stage companies with UX, UI, and startup, and having that vision and helping them overcome these visions and making it happen. And several companies made it better. And those movements and those momentum, it gave me more movements and more momentum. And through small momentum, slowly moving forward, I realized that, oh shoot, I helped out 10 to 15 startup companies. And they all said, thank you, G. Even though we didn't pay you. But honestly, I wasn't even getting paid. But for me, and for myself at least, I was like, dude, I need this for myself. I need to prove that I'm worth. And those momentum gave me confidence. And through those confidence, I learned 3 main lessons. Is that waiting is harder than failing, is the title of this presentation. But what I mean by waiting is harder than failing is that the story that I just gave you, failing is quick. Failing hurts, but it's quick. It's like you fall and you just get a scratch. You just know it. But waiting, it's really, really slow. You don't even notice it, and it just drains your confidence and time, or like slowly. So the second thing is that I realized that action creates clarity, like I said about helping other companies. Instead of waiting and planning everything for the future, I just decided to take action and started helping. And that became more clear path than ever did. And lastly, momentum rebuilds identity. Since I moved around and helped out, and I kept moving and kept showing up and taking action, now in the startup world, some people know me as like, oh yeah, this guy gives free advice, just go ask him. And that was my identity at that time, but I just kept showing up. So I found my identity again, and found my confidence. After learning that waiting hurts more than failing, I stopped waiting. I started to rely on myself, started to learn how to code instead of finding a co-founder, and how to post on social media. Because after all that thing, I was very, very anxious. So I hide. So I need to learn how to post again. And finally, I have launched my MVP, although it's still getting app approval. So my main thing here is that if I can't do it, you can too. Just don't wait. Please don't wait. Just keep failing and just move. Thank you very much.